Welcome back, YouTube. Today, I got another new car. Yes, I may have a problem. I am going to be installing an O2 sensor. Now I just need to plug it back in and make sure it's tucked away. Today, I have seafoam. Just gonna slowly I'm going to take my Subaru key and key fob and mighty morph them into one. Open, close door, put your key in, and turn it to the on position 10 times. But watch what happens. That's how you know you need the immobilizer. And I'm just gonna slowly pry this up. Get a flathead and put it up here and start prying it out. You can see the inside, and that's where the chip is. So on position works. And there it goes. I'm gonna be changing the spark plugs. The motor mount is what's really important. This is your motor mount. And on the other side you can see the motor mount. And you just need to pop those off so your motor can move around left and right and wiggle. A short little stubby socket here. Just have to put your hand in here and kind of wiggle it around until you get that nice little pop. And there's the spark plug once I got it out. Alright, now that the air box is out of the way, there you go. We are going to change out the belts. So let's turn some AC on. Is this the tensioner right here? This will bring it up and down to tension it. Loosen this one, but before that, you've got one more. All right, starts up, so that means I got one belt good. Sounds like everything is nice and quiet. I'm gonna be doing an antifreeze change or flush in my Subaru. And what you're supposed to do is dunk it in for 2 seconds. After 40 seconds, you lay the strip like this and you take a look at the colors. So we're gonna work with this one. Now we need to open up the petcock valve. So now I'm gonna stick this thing in here. You wanna squeeze it and get out as many bubbles as you can. In this one, we are going to be putting a cold air intake in this Forester. Right in here, we have an alligator clamp. So the next thing we need to do is we need to take this box out. And I'm going to take out the snorkel or the snorkus or whatever you want to call it. That banjo bolt right there. That's the one we're going to be getting out. And there we go. And the one over on your right-hand side, it is right here. It's the same thing over on this side. Same type of banjo bolt. The last thing that it can be, see, this is where your banjo bolt was. Right below that, there's a screw that's on top there, and there is a whole unit right here. See, there's 2 hoses right here that are blocking it. And there it is. These have probably never been taken out, and they were seized in. So when I popped it out, this came out. One thing that I have gotten is the master cylinder brace. And we're gonna see the flex. Alright, now I have it in its basic position. Alright, now everything is in place. Oh yeah, look at that. That's yummy. So here we have the old one and the new one. As you can see, the new one is just filthy. I'm actually going to take out the fuel filter and I am going to put it up front. Now you're gonna have to be really careful when pulling this up. And this is a look at your whole system. Well, now that that's gone, this thing looks pretty bare. You can get the bracket at a junkyard, and would you look at that? Everything plumbed in, looking like new. It is Snowmageddon. Something I forgot to do was replace the PCV valve that's down here. This one right down here, this is the first one we're gonna take off. So here it is. Now the test to see if this is actually working is the shake test. There we go. There's a little look inside there. This thing has a bunch of gunk inside. I am putting in an oil catch can. So this is where I decided to actually mount it up. So this one is gonna be routed up and it's gonna be connected right here, and then it's gonna come out here, and then I'm gonna route a hose right exactly where this one is. I'm having some overboosting problems. Let's check the boost solenoid. So that's what I'm gonna be doing in this one. Unplug this little clip up here. Once you pop those out, then I can take this whole thing out and give it a nice little cleaning. And with that push of the button, you have a locked diff. I've got both of these pulled out so you can see this one's just really small. For turbo, it's gonna be 3. Pin number 4 is gonna be up on this row, and it's gonna be 4 in, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's what we're looking for. Found that white-green wire that we need in pin number 4. So I took out 2 of these. It fits perfectly in here, and once you push it back, it'll actually click into place with the little tabs on here. I'll show you the wiring diagram so you guys know what it's gonna look like in the end. This is your 12-volt accessory. Got 1 wire going up to my resistor. All right, so this is how we have everything set up so far. We don't have any sort of check engine lights, and I am just chilling around the parking lot, slowly going in a circle. And now I'm gonna flip the switch, and we stop. I'm gonna be changing out the automatic transmission fluid. So you've got a yellow one right here, and then you got another one right back here. So for automatics, you want this one. Up here in the bolt, I'm probably gonna have to get my breaker bar down here to get this thing off. The OEM, because you can't use anything else, it's just not the same. I've got some diff fluid and we're gonna change, well, the diff fluid. I always have some random hose laying around. This is just gonna go right up here, nice and snug.
Drink, my friend. Drink.
Here we go. Get ready to run. Oh, I missed. Oh God, I missed. Oh, I missed so bad. My speaker grill and carpeting squeezed out of the way. We have to take out all of the Phillips screws so we can get into the subwoofer area here. I got a hole cut out. I know it's not pretty, but it works. All right, just got it installed. Now that I've given enough time, it's supposedly 8 hours, but I've given it more for all of this foam to completely cure. Just finished up with the soundproofing, and there you go. It's looking pretty beautiful up in here. I'm going to be doing the headlights in the Subaru, and I'm also going to be doing LED lights for the interiors. So there it is installed. You can see up here there's a little notch right there. Just put a flathead in there, and once you get it in, it's super easy. These are your 2 bulbs right here. I've got 2 metal clips. I've got one there and one over there. Get the difference already. This is daytime. I am going to be working on the sway bar. I'm going to take off the end links here. And then this one right up here, this one's a 12mm bolt. I got my brand new end links in here. And just like that, we are finished. I'm gonna finish it off with the front. I've got my white line right over there. You've got your end links over here, just like in the rear. And then it comes around, and this is your sway bar that comes underneath. This is what we're gonna have to take out. And just like that, I got it installed. I'm gonna be doing strut tower braces. I'm gonna be doing the front and the rear. So I got the quick release, really cool. All right, so I just finished taking all of the nuts off of here. So that's gonna be a hard no on the carpet thing. I've got this one lined up, and then we run across here, and this one's off. The covers that go over here is I need to cut out a little notch right here so this can fit over. All right, next up we've got up front, getting it in there, getting some sort of pry tool like I did right here, and kind of popped it underneath. Look at that intercooler. Seems so small. Let's take this off. Look at all this room for activities. Oh, it already looks bad from here. Throttle body is coming out and it's gonna be cleaned. It does need a little bit of cleaning around the edge there. And then once it opens up, everything on the inside actually looks decently clean. This big old boy, this is from a 2018 STI. This is gonna go in. Well, you have to get one of these that fits on here, but the hose that comes along with it. I've got these bent back, see how much closer they are? It's pretty much as far as I could get them back. I noticed that I could not do this, and in fact, you actually need a new elbow. The Mishimoto one is the exact same thing. I have a new turbo I'm gonna put on there with a turbo blanket. I've got a whole exhaust here. We can finally get this downpipe off. So to get the downpipe off that's connected to the hot side of the turbo, there are 5 bolts that we need to take off. I'm not replacing the line, so I need to keep these and transfer them to the new turbo. This is where that bottom one comes through. So the line goes underneath, comes around, and attaches to this bottom one. So now that the turbo is out, there's a few things that you need to swap over. So I'm gonna reuse the hose. If you put it on here, the holes do not align up. This is where your up pipe goes up to. Of course, almost forgot the brackets that are up here. Got those studs in, and I just placed it down here. Check for any wet, moist, bad things that shouldn't be dripping. There's no way that thing is ever coming out. And here we are looking underneath. You can see the 3 bolts. It's a little bracket that you have on. You're supposed to take a screw out of there. And there we go. Throw the exhaust over to the side, and the exhaust is out. I got the Turbo XS downpipe, our free-flowing cat. Next up we have our mid-pipe down here. This is the WRX exhaust that I have here. I got these off of Amazon, but these are much longer. There is a restrictor in this hose. The problem is, with this turbo, I reused this from my old turbo. It's too much of a restriction and I'm over boosting. You can see there's a little pill inside there with a hole in the middle. And this is what the pill looks like. I have got my Perrin equal length headers. Next up, we're gonna move on to these 2 bolts right here. All right, now that I have the heat shield off, this is what it looks like. We have got 3 more again. I don't know why that was so hard to get out, but it was, and it's out. And now I can drop the pan. Now the pickup is caught. All right, so I got everything kind of test fit in here because I have no idea how this is supposed to be oriented before I tighten it in. And today I am finally gonna get to something that I've been meaning to do for a very long time, and that's upgrade my car stereo. First up, we have 4 Phillips head screws. If I'm looking at the left rear speaker positive, it says white red. All right, so I basically have everything hooked up that I need to test this out for. We wait. There it is. It has the Subaru logo. So cool. I can't wait. I just kind of have it just chilling over here. As you can see, I can put that inside here. I'm gonna drill a hole. Get the point, we're gonna push this through just like this. There we go. Now I've got it right in here. I'm gonna be getting my backup camera finally installed, and there you can see I have it right behind my license plate. And once you get those out, then you'll be able to start pulling off the interior trim. These 2 wires right here need to go to your reverse camera. So when you put the car in reverse, it sends voltage to those bulbs. Wire, the only one that stands out, we want the blue with the red. We want that wire. All right, so this is what I ended up doing. So all I need to do now is plug in the backup camera, and I'm done. So now that the fronts are done, we're gonna move on to the rear. All right, so now that I've taken both the bolts out the backside, you can see that I can slip this off. This dust shield. This is not going to fit with the upgrade. So here I have the new rear brakes. These are the calipers. Here's the big boys. 2 pistons in the back instead of a single. Brat just got it put into place. Now this one fits a whole lot better than the fronts. And once you get everything back on, that is the beauty that you get to behold. I am going to be changing out the steering wheel. This one has all the built-in functions here. Is give it a little bit of a tug if it's your first time taking it off. I'm gonna need that airbag for the new one. Let's get the steering wheel off. Now, I've already taken one out to prove that it can be done. You just have to take out each one of these. The whole thing comes out. Swap it over to the new one. 3 pins in there. So the middle one and the right one, or 2 and 3 if you want to count them. We're gonna take off 4 of these resistors. All right, and here it is, completely finished. Everything is working on it. All of my audio controls are working on it. I had to kind of jerry-rig my wastegate in order to make things work. Okay, so I do have it placed in here. It's just not gonna fit, Captain! So now that I chopped that off, I've got more room on here. Okay, so after about 13 days and 70 missing horseshoe clips and a few broken pieces, we finally get it together. 12.9. I don't know, that's a little high. About 40. That one wasn't too bad. Nope. So, after all of that work and all that money, absolutely nothing has changed. Alrighty, Subaru. Let's get an external wastegate on you. I took off this wire here. This is gonna be a 14 millimeter right on here. There it is. I am upgrading mine with the torque solution. And there's 2 different ways to do this. You can either do it like I did with no branding, or you can put the torque solution on the other side, but that's for people that are sponsored. All right, so you got 2 different options for this. You can either take out the turbo, so you can lift the up pipe up, or you can take your header off. Torque solution again for the wastegate bracket. It basically locks in that little plunger piece. All right, just got this thing installed in here. Gonna drop this guy down in here and try to get this thing lined up. I've got my 7-pound spring here. I'm gonna put that on the inside. I've got my little V bands here. Open it up, and that's where you put your spring. And I've got this, so if this is mocked up right here, my down pipe is gonna come straight down. So I'm thinking I'm probably just gonna have to leave this off. All right, let's take it for a rip. Going 55, let's see what we can get. And beautiful, look at that. Finally got that fixed. And I have wind noise, so I'm gonna fix that today. You can hear that, right? Now the only tool that you need for this is this. We're going to put our C-clamp right up in here. I have got some OTL, off-the-line performance ignition coils. These are the 2 that we're gonna get to and replace. The hard part is actually getting them out. All right, after getting those popped in. But today, our little baby hood scoop is gonna become a man. All right, so I just got each one of those off. As you can see, all those little holes that I got out of there. The only thing holding this thing on is this. Now, I just need to get the scoop out, which is the rest of these little bolts. Let's get this guy placed where he should be. We're gonna line up. God, come on. That already looks so much better. So that fits, that doesn't fit. Let's do grounding stuff. There's flies in here. Why? The small is going to go right onto there. This bolt right here, and we're gonna have 3 on here. And then it goes all the way up here. This one's the small eyelet that's gonna go on the throttle body. And we're gonna get another one with a big eyelet because all the stuff on the alternator. I'm gonna put in big fat injectors into the Subaru. And they had injectors that fit the Subaru. But they're not for Subaru, they're for Nissan. Anyway, once that's open, we just have to give a little tug on this guy because it's just seated with that O-ring. And they're a little dirty. There's no room. There's no way to go back there. There's hoses in the way. So we've got to remove some stuff over here. I need to put on an electronic boost gauge. The one that comes straight up, this one is gonna lead you right to it. So mine is mounted diddly-doo, doodly-dee, shabam, right there. A line routed from this, and it's gonna go into the place of the turbo. This guy is gonna be routed and to come down here into our external wastegate. Number one is gonna go to your inlet here. I need a camshaft sensor. This sensor right down here. And then on the right side, I was finally able to get it. So I got my little flex head here. Awkward, there we go. There we go. Just popped it back in, just hand tightened it in. There it is, right back there. Just a little bit of finesse. That's all it was. It's very simple. And I may have stripped it a lot. It's time to e-tune the Subaru STI. Oh God. So as far as I can tell, I was running on 1 to 2 cylinders. That's why we were running really rough. I screwed up on the wiring to where these two guys were touching in some way. She's alive! I took out 3 of the injectors, reseated them, make sure I put a bunch of oil and lubricant around those O-rings so they seated super, super easy. That's fun. In the middle of trying to send my data logs to my tuner, I can at least clean it. So I went online, got some Adams Polish Compound Prep Shampoo. Strips away old waxes and sealants and all the other crap. Oh, that's crazy. My God, look at that. All done, ceramic coated, washed, waxed, buffed, everything. Besides a little paint shift, this thing looks brand new. It is a mirror. That is gorgeous. I did the top, I did the sides, I did the bottom. I think I need to wipe it down a little bit. I see a few smudges that I can get down, but oh my God, look at it. She's brand new, guys.